should NASCAR and Fox Sports in particular be on high alert that the guy that is literally funding the series, I mean, I'm only half joking when I say who knows if the trucks would even still be around if it weren't for everything that Marcus Lemonis has poured into the truck series over the last decade and a half.
Oh, for sure.
Should they be on high alert that apparently he's not too happy with the coverage himself?
Yes. Yeah. Don't take that as a joke, man. I mean, they could either take it two ways. They could take that criticism and work with him, or they can outright reject it and take him off, like refuse his help, which would be a blatant shot in the foot for NASCAR.
And Ben, we're going to break out of this section for a moment because we have some major breaking news to share, something that's happened right now, and that is Camping World announced that they're going to be ending their sponsorship of the NASCAR Truck Series. And in a statement just put out by Marcus Lemonis, he says, "What an amazing opportunity. It's been 14 years, over 30 race entitlements, over 35 drivers sponsored, and some of the best fans one could wish for. Thank you, NASCAR. Marketing and sponsorships continue to build and expand our Camping World business, but it's the people that work in the business every day that make it go and grow. In acknowledging what matters the most, our people, we have made the decision to relocate those marketing dollars towards increasing the income and benefits of our people. From my perspective, there is no money better spent." Signed, Marcus Lemonis, NASCAR fan for life. So Ben, I know we've talked about this in past shows on Marcus Lemonis potentially pulling out, and now it is official. Just happened just moments ago. So what's your reaction to that major breaking news story of Camping World ending the entitlement sponsor of the NASCAR Truck Series?
What? I mean, I know I said I had no words on Sunday when we got the news of a disqualification, but wow, the Mad Lad actually did it. I said, you know, the way the Truck Series was going, the way Fox Sports was treating the broadcasts, and NASCAR I think was treating the Truck Series as well. There were just some factors that, you know, I've said on these shows in the past year. You know, if I were Marcus, I wouldn't be a fan of how my product that I'm sponsoring, that I'm paying to be shown here, is being presented. But I did not see this actually coming. I thought it might be a possibility for other people who might have not been in the sport as long as they have. But Marcus has talked time and time again about how you know, Camping World was $1 billion company when he first started the sponsorship, and now it's a $4 billion company. I think that was a few years ago when they rebranded the series to Gander for a couple of years. So it's probably even gone up in value since then. But I mean, this is very, very shocking news to me, and I don't think that's good news at all for the Truck Series, because I'm just trying to think off the top of my head here. You know, I can't see Menards stepping up and sponsoring, considering they already have the ARCA Series and the East and West divisions. You know, I know Johnny Morris and Bass Pro Shops pour a lot of money into the sport, but you know, the only thing I can think of is maybe got to give Craftsman a call. I know they've gotten back into sponsorship a little bit with Joe Gibbs Racing, and I think they've been on Haley Deacon's truck a couple of times as well. But you know, this is absolutely a shocking development that's going to send shockwaves throughout not just the Truck Series, but the entire sport as well. I mean, Camping World has been so loyal in regards to NASCAR, and I don't know that Marcus is. I mean, I'm just trying to pull the statement up here. It looks like Adam Stern tweeted it out. Marcus is saying there is no better money spent, and obviously he has a lot of deals with individual race teams to sponsor trucks and cars as well. So we'll see if he ends up pulling out of the sport entirely here, or if it's just the Truck Series that he's sponsored for so many years. But you know, that this is there we go. We got the statement up there. Yeah, it's very, very shocking, and you know, it's 2 shows in a row here where we've gotten some major breaking news in the middle of a show and had to try to react to it. But you know, this is absolutely crazy, and we'll see what this means for the future of the Truck Series. The amount that Marcus has poured in over the last several years, I think, has played no small role in keeping the Truck Series alive. When you think of the race purses and the budgets of the teams that are in it, I remember Brad Keselowski saying, you know, when he shut his truck team down, he lost $1 million on operating the team in 2014, and that you have to be able to run at a losing effort if you're going to be competitive in this series. And you know, the way the economy is right now, it's going to be very difficult for me to see somebody stepping up at this point of year. You know, we'll see where the future takes us here, but this is I don't know. I think this is not a good day for the Truck Series and not a good day for NASCAR.
And it's crazy, Ben, because we were literally just talking about NASCAR being optimistic about Danny Kvyat joining the series and all of this buzz about international drivers trying to come into the NASCAR Cup Series and just NASCAR in general. And on that front, there's a lot for NASCAR to be excited about. There's a lot of interest, and we could potentially see Elio Castroneves running the Daytona 500 next year. No, SRX CEO Donald Hawk is really working the phones, trying to help Elio put together a deal so he can live out his dream of racing in NASCAR's premier crown jewel of event and just race on a stock car in general. So that is really something to be excited about. But as far as Camping World pulling out of the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, it's a massive shocker. I did not see this coming. I thought this would be something that would be announced like towards the end of 2022, be like 2023's our last season. Give NASCAR an entire year to find out. Hopefully, Lemonis gave NASCAR months of notice so they could begin working on something for next year. But a lot of things for next year. They typically start a couple of months ago working towards 2023. And this announcement of Camping World pulling out, as you were saying, Ben, with the state of the economy right now, I think it's going to be a little difficult for NASCAR to try to find somebody who's going to sign on. And I don't want to say on short notice, but 2023 is going to be here, but before we know it, and I'm honestly just at a loss of words that Camping World is pulling out. And I know, and like I said, you've talked about this on our shows in the past. Like, is Marcus Lemonis going to decide to invest his money elsewhere? And tonight, I guess he answered your question. Yes, he decided to invest in his people, as he said in his statement.
And I've got to give my Grid Live Encore co-host Brandon Crossland a lot of credit as well, because we were talking about this after the Eldora, or not the Eldora, sorry, the Knoxville truck race, and just how it was presented by Fox Sports and the on-track product that we've seen the last couple of years. That this might be a possibility, especially when you consider Marcus has been in this for the long term. It's not like he's a new sponsor coming in and he's going to give it a couple of years. I mean, everybody who's a NASCAR fan by now knows the Camping World and Gander Outdoors brand, and knows what Marcus has done for the sport. I can't say I blame him. Maybe we'll get more news in the coming hours and in the coming days here later this week as to why this decision was made. But I think ultimately, when you consider how long he's been in the sport, 14 years now, I think, going back to 2009, this is the 14th season with the Truck Series, and even longer before then with he sponsored the East and West Series at some time as well, and has been involved sponsoring teams and drivers much longer than that. All good things must come to an end, and I think it's been a very good partnership that has been great for the Truck Series. But Truck Series isn't easily going to have that anymore. And like I said, I'm trying to think of brands that could fill back in. Maybe you call Craftsman, try to get a reunion together, but it's tough for me to see it.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's tough to see Craftsman's trying to come back. I remember growing up when it was called the NASCAR Craftsman's Truck Series, and that would certainly be a throwback for me when I was a young viewer of NASCAR. If they decided to go back to that brand, but I don't see that happening right now. But stranger things have really happened, and we have to give credit to Marcus Lemonis for the investment he made in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. He's really done a lot, and gone above and beyond to make a lot of things happen, especially for a lot of drivers who are looking for sponsorship to try to raise those, and a lot of those feel good stories. Unfortunately, when Marcus pulling out of the Truck Series, it may not, those feel good stories may not happen anymore. Like Todd Bodine, without Marcus Lemonis, Todd Bodine wouldn't have been able to reach 800 starts in the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series, and there's another handful of drivers he sponsored with Camping World, Good Sam, and all of that over the years as well. Drivers who wouldn't have been able to compete in those events if it wasn't for Marcus Lemonis. So this is a major loss for the entire industry.
I know Marcus is a little bit polarizing on Twitter sometimes, but Kobe, you're absolutely right. Just what he has done for so many teams and drivers, and obviously the entire Truck Series as a whole, is nothing short of incredible. And like I said, I know we've got more of a show to get to, and I'll get into the follow up here in just a moment. But it's a tremendous loss for the Truck Series, assuming they're not going to be able to find a replacement sponsor super quickly here. Obviously, they have an entire off season to be able to do that. But it's just it's still I almost don't want to believe it. I thought Marcus was committed to the sport for a long time, and he always has been. I thought he would at least continue to, like you said, Kobe, maybe sponsor through 2023 or announce that he was ending the deal following a future season. But the end of this season, NASCAR certainly got to work overtime to try to find a sponsor for the Truck Series here. And again, the economy the way it is, I think it's going to be quite a tough task here for NASCAR going forward. It's certainly not good. Kobe brings up a good question here. Who could sponsor the Truck Series if Camping World pulls out? I guess you could give Craftsman a call, see if they're interested in a reunion, but I really don't know.
Got an update on this breaking news story that we've been talking about of Camping World pulling out of the NASCAR Truck Series. Adam Stern from the Sports Business Journal said that NASCAR has known for quite some time that Camping World wasn't coming back. So that addresses the questions we were just raising earlier. If NASCAR had noticed, and it's good to hear from Adam Stern that NASCAR has known for quite some time they were not renewing, so they've been able to ask around, and we've also been wondering about going back to Craftsman. And Adam Stern says the leading candidate to replace Camping World is Craftsman, so we could see the return of the NASCAR Craftsman's Truck Series. Ben, if you wanted to respond to that.
Well, I think that would be very fitting. Like I said, I don't think there's anybody better, to get a reunion with than the sponsor that used to fund the series. I guess that wouldn't be an option in the Cup Series, right? They surely would not go back to Winston and with the bans on those kinds of sponsorships and everything. But it would be nice to see the Craftsman Truck Series name come back. And it's been great to see Craftsman come back to the sport a little bit in recent years. And I think if there's an opportunity for them to kind of get the band back together, if you will. Like I said, it's very difficult for me to picture anybody else being a leading candidate at this point in time. Who knows? Maybe somebody will emerge and surprise us and kind of come out of nowhere. But, I got to think if Craftsman's on board, then NASCAR should totally take that opportunity. And I think it would be very fitting for Truck Series fans, particularly like you and me, Kobe, because, I know we both got into the sport around 2007 in that time period. And that was right when Craftsman's run was coming to an end. Of course, the Truck Series was still very young back then, but Camping World, for the vast majority of the time that we've been following, has been the sponsor. It would be quite a throwback to hear the Craftsman Truck Series name again.